Hi guys, today we're going to be taking a look at Love Story by Taylor Swift. It's going to sound something like this. Alright guys, so let's take a look at some of the chords that we're going to be using in this song. Now this version of the song is going to be in the key of G major, so the first chord we're going to take a look at is a G major chord. That's going to sound something like this. Now how we play that is we take our middle finger, and that's going to cover the 3rd fret of the low E string. We're going to take our little finger, and that'll cover the 3rd fret of the high E string. And then our second finger is going to come across and hit the 2nd fret of our A string. And it's going to sound like this. So the next chord we're going to be taking a look at is a D major chord. Now that's going to sound something like this. Now to be able to play the D major chord, we're going to take our 3rd finger and play the 2nd fret of our high E. Our 4th finger is going to play the 3rd fret of our B string. And our 2nd finger is going to play the 2nd fret of our G string. That's going to sound like this. The 3rd chord we're going to be taking a look at is an E minor chord. Now that sounds like this. Just going to take 2 fingers to play, which is going to be our 2nd finger and our 3rd finger. Our 2nd finger is going to play the 2nd fret on our A string. And our 3rd finger is going to play the 2nd fret on our D string. And all together it sounds like this. And then the final chord we're going to look at is a C major chord, which is going to sound like this. Our 4th finger is going to come and play the 3rd fret on our A string. Our middle finger is going to play the 2nd fret on our D string. And then our 2nd finger is going to play the 1st fret on our B string. And all together it just sounds like that. So taking a look at the verse of this song, we've got the 4 chords G, D, E minor and C, just repeated in that order. What I like to do when I play the song is I like to use a bit of palm muting for it. It just helps build a bit of tension going from the first bit of the song as you progress through. The way you do that is you just use the palm bit of your hand, hold it up against the strings, and you should just get a bit of practice holding your palm down, and you'll get that kind of sound coming through the guitar. And as you ease up, you get a bit of sound coming through it. So if we go to our G chord to start us off, open it would sound like this. Palm muted it would sound like this. And it helps just to give a little bit of texture to the song there. So bearing that in mind, we'll have a look at the verse of this song, and it's just going to go with the G, D, E minor, into a C. And again. D, E minor, C. Now, with that last one there, what we're going to do is we're going to do half of it on a C and half of it on a D. And the reason for that is just to build a bit of suspense before we go into our bridge section. So what that's going to look like is similar. Your G, D, E minor, C, D. And that then takes us over into our bridge section. Alright guys, so now that we've got the verse, we're going to take a look at our pre-chorus. It's going to sound something like this. So how does that look? We've got our C major chord, up to a D major chord, to the G chord, to an E minor, C, D, but this time straight to the E minor. And we'll just hold that. So all together, C, D, G, E minor, C, D, E minor, and then we go to our chorus. So taking a look at our chorus, the chords that we're going to be using here are the same as the chords that we used in our verse. All I would do differently is when we're looking at the verse, we talked about palm muting. Here I would just play the strings open, so you've got that big chorus build up. So it's going to sound something like this. G, into a D, E minor, C, so after the first chorus we'll go back into our verse. However, after the second chorus we have a little bit of an extension to the chorus. It goes into a bit of a musical bit, however I would just keep going with the chorus chords. So, with your G, into your D, into E minor, and then into a C. And we'll find after that C, we're going to a bit of a minor section, and we'll go into that bit next. Now here we're going to be using the same chords that we've been using all along, but it's just going to be in a slightly different order. So to start off, we're going to start from E minor chord, into a C chord, up into a G chord, and then into a D chord. Now when playing this, I like to just do those as single strums, so it'll sound something like this. And that takes us nicely into a little build-up section for our final chorus. So, taking a look at our build-up section now, the chords that we're going to use here are the exact same that we've been using in the verse and the chorus of the song so far. Similar to what we were doing with the verse, I'd recommend using a little bit of palm muting just to help build the suspense going into that final chorus. It's going to sound something like this. G, D, E minor, and C. So we've just had our build-up section. That's going to then lead us into our final chorus. The final chorus in the original recording does have a key change, which we're going to be taking a look at now. However, if you do feel more comfortable just using the chorus chords we've used so far, feel free to do that. The key change we're going to be looking at is in the key of A major, so we'll have a look at those chords now. So the first chord in our key change, the A major chord, is going to be the 2nd fret on the D string, the 2nd fret on the G string, and the 2nd fret on the B string. Now I just use these 3 fingers to play that one. And it sounds like that. Next we've got an E chord, and we're going to be using the same 3 fingers to play the E chord. It's going to be a 2nd fret on our A string, a 2nd fret on our D string, and a 1st fret on our G string. That's going to look like that. Now the next chord we're going to look at is going to be an F sharp minor chord. Now this is going to be the hardest chord that we've got to learn in this song because it requires barring the 2nd fret. And what you want to do is take your index finger and pull it hard against that 2nd fret. and then it's just an E minor shape that we're going to make there with our last 2-3 fingers. So that stretches over and that stretches over. These hold down hard across that whole second fret, and you get a chord which looks like that, which is your F sharp minor chord. And then the final chord we're going to be looking at is a D chord. All together, that's going to sound something like this: A, E, F sharp minor, D, so let's try building in that final chorus with the bridge pickup that we've just done as we're going to build up into it. So starting in the key of G with our palm muting, it's going to sound something like this, with the G to the D, our E minor, and the C, and then here comes the key change after that C, into our A, E, F sharp minor, D, and that's the end of the song. Alright, so we've gone through all of our different components of the song now. What I'm going to do now is just play a run through of all the chord progressions throughout the whole song. We'll just try gluing them together and give you a bit of chance to practice them as well. So we'll start with our verse, which is the G, D, E minor, C. And we're going to go into our pre-chorus. G, E minor, C, D, E minor. Chorus, G, D, E minor, C. Gonna go into our minor section now, so E minor, C, G, D, and again, E minor, C, G, and D, and then we'll start building up for that final chorus, so into the G, D, E minor, C, and key change to A, E, F sharp minor, D, and A. Alright, great work guys, thank you very much.